Colonel Malcolm Weatherby here. Good afternoon, evening, day to you YouTubers and steampunkers out there. I welcome you to the first episode of Do It Yourself with Colonel Malcolm Weatherby. Today we'll be exploring how to make a faux metal, like the ones that are displayed on my uniform here, and something similar to this as well. Why faux metals, you ask? Why can't we just go out and buy real ones? Well, it's very important to respect our military personnel who have served in the line of duty in order to earn these specific medals. So, without any disrespect, we will create our own, which are very unique and stylish, as you can see. Why use something that has been mass-produced when you can create something unique? So, before we get started, you'll need a few tools and resources to complete the project. So, first off, you'll require a measuring device of some sort, like a ruler, a pair of scissors, a metal cutting tool. We'll use this to trim small metal pieces so they'll fit better on the metal. This is a jump ring plier system. You'll actually need the embellishments themselves that you'll hang from the metal. You'll need a large jump ring and a smaller jump ring. And I'll give you the specific dimensions later. This is 1 1/2 inch width gross grain ribbon. It doesn't have to be 1 1/2 inches in width. It can be 2, it can be 1, it can be 1/2. It doesn't matter. I just prefer this size. But it is important that you use gross grain, because this is typically what is found in military metals, and we want to keep these things looking as authentic as possible. You might want to embellish your ribbon with a stripe down the center, or other patterns that I can show you, and you'll use something smaller, like this. I believe it's 1/8 of an inch, and they also come in quarter, half. These you'll see becoming very useful to make your metal pop, like the ones I have on me. Also require an adhesive. I prefer to use the E6000. It's a fabric adhesive. It's very durable and it's flexible as well. Additionally, to simulate stitching, we'll utilize a superglue, and you'll see later in the video how this works. So, let's get started with the specifics. The first thing we want to do is take our ribbon and cut it to a particular length. In this case, this is cut to 5 inches, as you can see here. Why 5 inches? Well, this is important because we want to keep our metals consistent in size. I don't want one that's 3 inches long and one that's 6 and one that's 4. They look funny when they're displayed on your uniform. So, what you do is that the formula is quite simple, actually. Whatever desired length you want of a metal, just double the entire length of the ribbon. So, for example, here, let's take this metal. It measures the ribbon portion. Hold on, let's get the customary end. About 2.5 inches. As you can see here, 2.5 inches. In order to achieve 2.5 inches, we must double the length, and in that case, this is 5 inches. So if we folded this in half, that would be 2.5 inches in length. Okay, so now let's get started with actually making the metal itself. What we want to do is make 3 folds. Fold one end to the middle, and the other end to the other end of that end. So it'll look like this. And then, just one fine little, to make a point, like so. We'll take our large jump ring and put it through the center, and pull the ribbon through, and then we're going to fold it in half. See, when we do that, and tug on the ring a bit here, you see it neatly folds on the back. This is the reverse side, and this is not the front. We flip it over, and we'll see that the front is nice and neat and looks like metal. It's folded correctly. But we certainly don't want these little hairs sticking out here, and we need to tack this all together. So what we do is take our superglue, and with the superglue, we're going to make, let's see here, we'll make a few little beads right along the superglue, see? Like so. Take the other end, bring it up, and put the two halves together. Hold down, press down for a few seconds, and it should tack just fine. Now, you can see that the glue has bled through. We definitely don't want that. We don't want these little hairs sticking out. You can either cut these off with a scissor, but I prefer just to hit it with a lighter real quick. Takes care of the frills. So we want to get rid of this nasty bleed over. In order to do that, we're going to flip the metal back over. And we're going to put another series of little beads across the top. Then we fold that end over. You can see here. To make a clean top. Hold down for a few seconds. Everything should stay in place, like so. And there we are. We have the top, and it's nice and clean, as you can see. Okay, zoom out a bit. Now, imagine that we didn't want the metal to be so simple looking. That looks pretty simple, just with a red ribbon. We can take the same idea and add that other ribbon like this across the center. All I did was take this, put some E6000 down the center, and then placed it on the ribbon. I just eyeballed it. I didn't make any measurements or anything, so you get it all centered up, and then you let it dry for a bit. You're going to use the same process to put it through the jump ring by doing this and this. Now, you won't be able to make that. It'll be difficult to make that second fold, and then you're going to drive the ring through and repeat the same process as you did for this ribbon. Okay. We got that started, and now we want to include our medallion. And here we go. Now, we just take the jump ring that's on the medallion. In this case, you can find the crease, which is always difficult to do sometimes. There we are. Take your tool, this little guy here, and bend not this way, but that way. So it's kind of like, it's counterintuitive, as you'd say. Now, we take this, I have to break it open a little bit more. There we are. You want to make sure that the metal is facing the correct direction when you attach the ring. Put it through the main jump ring there. And crimp it closed. Great. And there we are. We have a simple medal. Now, we can do other things with the medallion. For example, here's a medallion by itself, but let us make it a little bit more attractive by taking one of our other medallions, which I just used this cutter, and cut the top off, the little ring that you see there. I just cut that off so it looks cleaner. And we would just center it onto this, and now all of a sudden our medallion is a bit more exciting. Look at that. So I would fasten these two pieces together with the E6000. Its flexibility makes for a more durable piece, as if it was brittle with the superglue, it would, if it got caught on something, it would snap off relatively easily. With this, it gives quite a bit. And so you can glue these items on top of each other, layer them. For example, this is layered. We have a gear, no, the clock face, the gear, and then the wings. Here's another example of layering, where I took a gear and then we have the camera up on top. There's a lot of other ways you can make medals. You can make them you can take a single piece of ribbon, and if you have these, I'm not quite sure what these are called here, but these little clips, you can take these clips and you can make a squared off medal and add more ribbon to the side to make it look like it's two color. And then adding embellishments in the center and the top. Now, for the back of your medal, you'll want to secure it by taking your pin back, which is one of these, and I don't think I quite mentioned it in the introduction. But you see your pin back here, I always like to run a very long, thick strand of glue up top, where all the little dots are, you'll see. And then I want to place the pin back in a fashion such as this. Well, that is... You want a little space on the top, but you don't want this showing. And I always like to keep this little claspy thing to the left. When the medal is facing down, just put that on the back, and just let it dry. Let it dry for a couple hours before use, and then you have yourself a functional medal. So, if you have any questions, or you want to explore other ways of making medals, I'll have another advanced technique video coming up here shortly. Thank you for watching my video, and I encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see more creations that I have made, please go to my Etsy shop, Steampunk Arsenal. Thank you, and good day to you. Long live the Queen.